Two unlikely friends embark on an epic journey. One of them is Sam, a rich daddy's boy who's done nothing on his own before. Things just work out for me, baby. And the other one, Death, the Lord of Damnation.
Yo, yo, yo! I be the Grim Reaper.
When Sam gets hit by a truck, he has to survive for 24 hours operating his bodily functions.
Hey, hello, I'm Kråkan, also known as Corvus Conix, and welcome to Yacc, yet another Crowcast where I pick a game, I play it for a week, and then I talk about it. This week's game is Manual Samuel from 2016. It's an adventure game developed by Perfectly Paranormal and published by Curvy Digital. And also there will be spoilers up ahead, just so you know, but first a little backstory. This game looked interesting and different, and sometimes you gotta try something new. As you start up the game, you can choose between single player, which is basically story mode, and co-op. And there's also a time trial or time attack mode. I think that gets unlocked when you beat the game. You can also choose captions, so sort of like subtitles and hints, and something to do with the spine. Well, I didn't check that box, but it's good to know that it's there. So this game starts out in a cafe on a Tuesday. Sam is sipping on his coffee. He's a spoiled kid, you know, he gets everything he wanted and he just cares about himself. And he's there with his girlfriend. In fact, I think it's her birthday. And he's only thinking about himself, and she's had enough because it's the third year in a row he has forgotten about her birthday. So he smashes him in the head with a beer bottle, which is a perfectly fine reaction to forgetting a birthday for 3 years straight. So Sam has now a concussion and he needs to get up from the floor. So you press the D-pad twice to get up on the D-pad I mean, and you move your legs with the left trigger and right trigger, so alternate between the two. You change direction with the right analog stick, left and right. So you have to pay for your coffee, which you do barely. He just throws the money at the cashier and leaves. So Sam tries to cross the road to talk to his girlfriend, but he gets hit by a truck. And also the driver pukes. Credits roll, and Sam ends up in hell. So while in hell, Sam makes a deal with Death himself, one of the riders of the apocalypse. And it's kind of funny because Death is portrayed as a teenager in this version, and he has a hoodie and he has a skateboard and tries to do a kickflip, but he's not very good at what he does. He's kind of a funny character. He tags along for the journey as well. So basically, you get tickets for how you lived your life, and Sam has 7 tickets. So he pays Death 1 ticket and he gets resurrected and brought back to life, more or less. And there's also this funny gag while they're in hell. There's like a line, because in hell you obviously had to have a job as well because it's eternally torture and there are like zombies and weird people in line. And of course the guy at the ticket booth, he takes a lunch break and he I don't think he's coming back because this is hell, you know. So Sam gets back and he gets resurrected, and he's in his home, and he's more or less like a zombie now. So you have to breathe in with the square button, you have to breathe out with the circle button, and also you have to blink with the X button because otherwise your vision gets blurry and stuff. And you also have to walk, and since you're like a zombie now, if you press like the L trigger twice, he goes down into a split. So you have to time your walking cycle perfectly in order to not make a mess out of yourself. So you need to brush your teeth, which is an endeavor in itself. Then you have to take a leak. It's just like real life. If you're a guy, you need to aim for the toilet. It's not going that well because he's swaying. It's kind of one of those dark humor moments when imagine a zombie trying to take a piss, but I thought that was funny. After that, he has to take a shower to clean himself up and put on some clothes and a jacket and shoes, and then walk down the stairs. So I fell down the stairs, not once, but twice. And there's like, at the end of the game, you also have to walk up the stairs, and the stairs is the biggest enemy in this game. So sometime later, Sam has to eat breakfast, and you have to do that without breathing in at the same time. So while you're doing all this ordinary life stuff, you have to blink, you have to breathe in, you have to breathe out, you have to walk. So there's a lot of times where just full chaos ensues. You forget to blink or you forget to breathe out and his face turns blue, and it's not like you have to tap the circle button to breathe in. You have to hold it and release it while you're walking, and sometimes you forgot which leg you put out, so you fall down into a split and it's full chaos. But this part coming up is actually much worse. So Sam needs to drive to work, and since this game is called Manual Samuel, you have to drive a manual gearbox. So I don't really have a driver's license and I don't have a car, so I don't even know how a manual car works. But imagining trying to drive a car with this kind of zombie mechanic blinking, breathing in, breathing out while trying to maneuver a car, changing gears and gas and brakes and clutches and everything, these stuff. So while you're driving down to work, you basically go through a bad neighborhood. You dodge grannies that is in the middle of the road for some reason, and you stop to pick off one of the other riders of the apocalypse called War. And she is in this bad neighborhood killing gangsters. That's what she does with a shotgun. She's badass. And she has a tank top which says like kill 'em all. And I think it's a Metallica reference, which is super cool. And for some reason, Death has a crush on War, and it's kind of this awkward teenage crush because she is a little bit older, I think, and he brags about him being able to do a kickflip, but he really can't. So Death wants to get a ride down to the metro, which of course it's on the way. And once War is dropped off, Sam needs to hurry to work. So Death basically tells him to speed up, and he crashes into something. In fact, it's a person. So Death borrows one of Sam's tickets to resurrect this person, like in full health and everything, no defects. So I wonder, like, how wasn't it the same case for like Sam? I have no idea. So Sam is not actually working. He is, as I said, a spoiled kid. So his father wants him to just be at a place and don't do anything. So he works at this place called RoboCorp. I think it's a pun on RoboCop. So Sam walks in and he just get a key card from the receptionist, and he has to walk to his office. And the funny thing about this key card is it's a card with a key on it, printed on it. So he go to his office and he's immediately called to go talk to his dad. So Sam's dad is not actually pleased with his son, and he demotes him and puts him down at the bottom of everything so he will learn how to be humble. So he basically goes down to the bottom of the facility, and he's supposed to put in these kind of energy cells into androids, hence the name RoboCorp. But of course, everything goes south and the robots become sentient, and Sam has to obviously stop him. So he gets down into a big mech, which is like controlling a much larger version of Sam, and Death is on his back. So this mechanic is a little funny. There's like, you can actually throw Death at certain robots to distract them. You can fire missiles and like a heavy machine gun. So while this is happening, the bad robot kind of leader thingy is going to blow up an orphanage, because that's what bad robots do. And of course the orphanage gets blown up anyway, and Satan is not happy about it because apparently young souls are not worth anything because they haven't sinned. So what you need to do is you need to go down to hell and you have to battle his minions, and eventually you will battle Satan himself, and it's long drawn out battle, just as the mech battle was long. It's just padding. So Sam actually managed to defeat Death, or bring him down to his last like health of a sliver health, and Death actually does a kickflip over him, and he's so impressed by this, so he kind of forgives him for it. But Death has to kind of repay the whole thing with the souls in orphanage. So Sam gets one last wish, and that is he wants the orphanage to be brought back, and that will actually cost Death a lot of tickets in the end. So Sam gets redeemed and he returns to normal, much more of a humble person, and I think he actually goes back in time. So he gives his girlfriend like a kitty sweater, which is kind of cute, and he learned how to be humble, and that's pretty much the end of the game. So gameplay: help Sam ragdoll his way through his adventure from hell to mech battles and eventually beating Satan in the end. Control: the right stick makes you turn from left to right, walk in that direction. And this is a mechanic I forgot to talk about, but sometimes Sam's spine just collapses. You have to press the D-pad up twice to straighten your spine up. You walk with your right trigger and left trigger, like right and left leg. Breathe in with square and breathe out with circle. And it's hard to control a ragdoll zombie. He doesn't always do what you want, but yeah, it's kind of one of those mechanics that are you kind of get used to it to a certain point, but then the game throws another mechanic at you, like the mech battle thing, or the just driving a car, and that's just ridiculous with all the controls you have to have in your head. Graphics: this game looked like it was drawn in Flash. Delia Towers made the art design, and Fran Court made the additional art pieces. And it looks good. It looks like a good indie game should. Sound and music. Sondre Jensen made the music for this game. It is kind of forgettable. It has like this metal track, and I think the guy that played Death actually does the singing or the growling in it. Easter egg, secrets, and glitches. I couldn't find any secrets or glitches, but there are a couple of things with referential humor to some of the aspects, like RoboCorp being like RoboCop, and one of the actually main baddies actually kind of looks like one of those androids from the RoboCop series. In conclusion, I wrote yes, try it. The idea is great on paper, but in practice it's not so great. There's a lot of frustrating parts with just trying to get from point A to point B, and you have to have like all these other things in your mind, like blinking, you have to breathe in and breathe out, you have to remember not to put like pressing the L trigger twice, you go down in a split, and as I said before, the stairs are your worst enemy in this game, because if you fail one step, you fall down the stairs. It doesn't take away any, like, it doesn't damage you, but you have to like get back into it. But at least I tried something new this week. This is a game I normally wouldn't pick anyway. The kind of the art style and the comedy drew me in with the reference humor, like even like the idea that Death is like a teenager trying to impress a much older girl by actually just lying straight up that he can do a kickflip, but I think it's kind of funny. I don't think I can recommend it, but if you're interested in it, try it. It's hard to like recommend games to people in general because everyone has different taste, I guess. I was surprised that this game was actually that funny. The only thing I didn't like was the mechanics, which you take for granted in life, like walking, breathing, blinking. When you have to have a button dedicated to every kind of those moves, and even like walking, it's a pain. Like trying to climb a stair is like, okay, almost there, and then you do something weird, you have to breathe and you forget, okay, which leg did I put up, and then you fall down the stairs. So I don't know, it's a game anyway. So anyway, thanks for listening and watching, and take care.